The best way for me to grow as a filmmaker has easily been trying to recreate what the greats have done. And that's what we're going to be doing today. Trying to turn this into this.
Hey, I'm Jordan Dudek, a director and DP. And as I mentioned before, shot recreation has been super important for me to learn more about filmmaking and getting the look that I want for certain shots. What we are going to be recreating is a scene from Ozark, a TV series from Netflix that has some truly stunning images throughout. I've never actually watched the show, but I found a still frame from scrolling on Shot Deck and just thought it'd be a good practice for us to try to recreate it together. Anytime I'm trying to set up a shot, I first want to try and get my composition and then worry about lighting later. For our inspiration shot, the subject is pretty much center frame, with the lines of the car framing the talent, so we'll try to do the same with our shot. I'm of course using the Sony FX3 for this, and while this camera does have insane low light capabilities, I'm going to shoot the final frame at 800 ISO to show that you could pretty much use any camera to get this shot. Because of the mixed temperatures of this shot, I went with a white balance of around 4300 Kelvin, as it'll make my daylight temperature lights look cooler and my tungsten colored light a bit warmer. Once our framing felt right, I had to start taking away light that was already there. There were a few lights that were just casting some sickly looking skin tones on the side of my face that I wanted to be in the shadows, and it was also causing some nasty reflections on the car. So I worked on blocking out those lights with a 6x6 scrim to give me some of that nice darkness. Darkness is nice. The first thing I noticed when looking at this composition is the two sources of light coming from outside, one warm and one cool. What really caught my eye was the mixture of tones in the skin with a warm rim light and cool shadows. But when I looked deeper into the shadows, I could tell there was a little Rembrandt pattern on the talent's face, telling me that there was also another cool light coming from the same spot as the warm light. And because the shadows had a nice roll off on the talent's face, I knew the source was quite soft. Kind of like this scene right now. I've got this nice roll off of my skin tone, and if I throw up false color right now, you can kind of see that. You should be seeing like a yellow on this side of my face until I block it. You should be seeing a yellow right here, and then you should be seeing a pink right in here, and then it might fade into a green, maybe even a blue on this side of my face. And what that is doing, that's just showing a roll off of the light that's coming from this window. And then I also have an LED panel right here just to kind of give me a little lift on my shadows. And that's what you really want. You want multiple exposures on the face. When shooting a moody scene like this, I like to get my base level exposure. Essentially, I like to know where my shadows are going to be on the waveform, so I know I'm not losing them in post. Because of that, I wanted to set up the soft source that was going to give that little Rembrandt pattern on the talent's face. I set up a falconized flexible LED panel with diffusion on the front and bounced it into some ultra bounce material to create a Cove Light. The Cove Light technique is nothing new, and there are plenty of tutorials on YouTube to help you out with them, but it's essentially a great way to get soft shadows and wrap the light around the talent. I was pretty satisfied with the shadow levels on the talent, so next was adding in the cool backlight. I set up a Forza 500 with their Fresnel attachment. Wait, I think it's Fresnel, like a French pastry. One Fresnel, please. I used the Fresnel in order to shape and focus the light on the car window behind the talent while making sure not to hit anything that might bounce light back into the subject. Remember, darkness is nice. The last light to set up was the warm rim light. For this, I used an Amaran 200X with a spotlight attachment. The spotlight is my favorite tool to use because it allows you to shape light easily without using extra flags or other C-stands. It just is really simple. The light behind me, it's not real. It's a little spotlight with some doors just to be able to shape it to make it look like it could be sunlight. For this scene, I had the Amaran set to 2700 Kelvin to again give that warm glow and contrast on the face. And for the final touch, you just have to wait for it to rain.
Give me some rain! Come on! Come on!
Or you could put a water hose on a C-stand with a clamp. Thanks, nature. Once you mix all those ingredients together, here's what you get. It's not a perfect copy of the inspiration shot by any means, and there are a few things that I'd do differently in the future, but for doing it by myself and in my backyard, I'm pretty happy with the shot. If there's something you think I should have done differently, let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to ignore it. I'm joking. We're all on this creative journey together, so let's grow together too. Thank you for being here. I love you.